Hello everyone, today I'm planning to make Belado Ikan Bawal, a fried fish dish that is roughly coated with a fresh sambal. I mean fresh because everything is fresh ingredients here. I do like this very much because it's one step better than normal fried fish. What you will need is oil for frying the fish, and you can use some of the oil for making the sambal, and this sambal needs to cook in oil. It's nicer that way, but when you serve it you can reduce the oil as much as you want. Use a slotted spoon and take some of the sambal together with the oil. The rest you can throw it if you're health conscious. And the other thing you will need, of course, is I've taken here one Ikan Bawal. I've marinated it with salt and turmeric. And you also will need a bit of calamansi lime, but if you don't have this, it doesn't matter. You can just use 1 or 2 dashes of vinegar, a little bit of sugar. You do need the sugar. You need to get a nice blend of salt and sugar, but lessen the sugar because you want the hot taste of the sambal to be kept. And there's 2 tomatoes here because this fish is rather large, so I'm using 1.5. And here I have 4 red fresh chillies, 3 chilli padi. You can use red or green. I have red, so I'm using red. And this here I have is about 7 very small shallots. So these are very small size. Here I have 6 garlic. These things will be coarsely pounded. If you pound it, it's even better. And you need the chilies to be a bit rough, the onions to be a bit rough. This is not a fine sambal. I'm just going to make this plain style, but I'll tell you what are the other ingredients you can use when you're going to saute the sambal. You can use a bruised serai for this amount of fish. 1 bruised serai. You can use even down parut leaves, the down parut leaves that you use for rendang. You can use 1 or 2 when you're sauteing the sambal. And you can also use a small piece of galangal. Bruise it a bit. All these things are optional. You don't have it, like today I'm not going to use anything but the basic things. So this is even tasty by itself without all the additions, but some people put these things in. It's up to you. You want to use it, or first time if you have never done it, make it plain, and then the next time you do it, you're adding serai and maybe lengkuas a bit, the galangal piece. And the third time you do it, add in all 3 and see which you prefer, the plain one or you can do it with various fishes. Okay, hari ni Aunty nak buat ikan bawal berlado. Aunty suka masak berlado sebab rasa freshnya. Semua barang-barang di sini fresh kan. So Aunty memang suka apa-apa yang berlado sebab rasa fresh. Ada orang yang pakai ajinomoto, yang penyedap rasa semua kan. Kalau tak pakai pun ini memang sedap kan. So sebab itulah Aunty suka masak ni. Okay, minyak memang kita perlukan. Garam dan kunyit kita bubuh atas bawal yang dipotong-potong lah. Kalau nak kelar-kelar 1 ekor bawal dan buat sambal pun boleh, tak salah. Dan di sini ada 2 tomato, dipakai 1,5 saja, sedikit gula ya. Dan di sini ada limau kasturi. Kalau tak ada limau nipis pun boleh. Kalau tak ada, sedikit cuka lah. Cuka third choice lah. Okay, sebab kita nak rasa fresh sambal ni kan. Okay, sini ada 4 cili merah hidup, 3 cili api merah. Kalau ada hijau lagi cantik lah dia punya warna sambal tu kan. Ada campur-campur merah hijau lagi menarik. Lagi sini ada 6 bawang putih, dan dari sini ada 7 bawang merah kecil ya. Okey, lepas ni Aunty akan mula goreng ikan dan kemudian gunakan minyak sikit daripada minyak tu untuk buat sambal ya. Okay, as usual, I've forgotten water to add in for the sambal. You add a little bit. I've only taken about slightly more than half. A little bit goes in here while blending roughly, but the rest will go into the sambal if you wish to have a more liquidy sambal for your fish. Okay, now what will go in first is all the onions and the garlic and the chili padi and the normal chili. All just goes in. I'm just going to pulse it, but if you can actually tumbuk this coarsely, it will give a much beautiful texture. And top it up with a bit of the tomato wedges. Pulse and grind it so that you get rough pieces. I won't put more than this now. I'll pulse it and blend it. Semua saya dah masukkan, sedikit air pun masukkan, dan Aunty akan tekan tombol yang untuk blend kasar ya. Kita pulse saja. Tengok ya, bunyi ya. Berhenti ya. Lepas tu masukkan baki-baki tomato. Saya pakai 1,5 biji ya tomato. I've only used 1.5 tomatoes. This is how it would look kan. Beginilah rupa dia ya, kasar-kasar sikit. Kalau tumbuk lagi cantik texture dia. If you actually pound it with a pestle and mortar, it will look even nicer. The texture is what we want. Some people just fry the fish and pour the sauce over, but I like to add it in at the end and not to overcook it. I still want the fish crispy here and there. Just, I would say for half a minute I would cook it in the sambal and then dish it out. At this stage, add a little bit of the salt. I'm using coarse salt. Do not add a lot because your fish too has got salt. Dimasukkan sedikit garam kasar. At this stage, as you cook it down, because there's a lot of chili padi, you can actually add more if you wish it to be hotter. So cooking it down is very important, and add water if you think you want to. Some people don't want, so they just leave it like this. The water is already there when you blended the ingredients just now. But if you are pounding, and then you might have to add a bit of water to get the thick gravy, a very thick gravy. Start adjusting this as you cook it down. Now I'm adding 1 flat soup spoon like this, a tiny soup spoon of sugar. It's not meant to be sweet like certain sambal, but sugar will give a nice balance. Nanti tak bubuh banyak-banyak gula ya, hanya untuk balancekan garam. Go easy on the seasoning, because the beauty about this is the balance between the fresh sambal and the fried salty fish and the limau kasturi, the calamansi lime. This one needs a fine balancing. Can you see it's not that red? Some people really add more chillies and chili padi and make it even redder. That is nice too. Tak berapa merah kan. Kalau nak merah lagi, masukkan lagi chili hidup merah dan chili padi ke apa-apa. Kalau nak merah lah, ada orang suka merah hijau, pakai chili padi hijau kan. Dan Aunty dah rasa, dan sekarang Aunty nak tambah lagi garam sikit lagi, setengah sudu lagi macam ni. I've just added another half tiny spoon of salt. You have to go easy in this type of cooking because the balance is what you want. By the way, open your windows if you're cooking this, because the chili will make you cough. One way or other it will make you cough. Okay, just a bit more salt. Lagi sikit lagi garam, setengah lagi. Sekarang saya masukkan limau kasturi ya. Satu sudu dulu, lagi ada setengah lagi di sini. Saya pakai lagi sama 1,5 sudu. You can either just spoon it over your fried fish. The fish must be fully fried, or you can put it like me. I like to put it in just for half a minute. Boleh curah saja sambal ni atas ikan kan. Kalau suka macam tu lah. Tapi Aunty suka garing-garing lagi, tapi kita terbalik-balikkan untuk setengah minit gitu dan hidang. Itu cara Aunty suka lah. This is basically how I like it. Still crispy, but hot. Okay, I'm gonna off the stove and take it. Okay, this is ikan bawal masak belado, and when you already cook this, do not immediately cover the fish. If you have to cover, use a netted cover. If you cover it immediately, it becomes like a bit steamed, so it won't be so crunchy and nice. So do try it out at home, and if you like my recipes, I hope you press that bell button there and the subscription button and share the recipes ya. Okay, inilah ikan bawal masak belado ya. Siapa yang suka resepi ni, tolonglah subscribe, share dan tekan bell loceng ya, so that Aunty bolehlah buat lagi-lagi video ya. Okay, thank you, bye bye.